Team No Days Off. What's good? This is your boy Lorenzo, aka Mr. Never Sleep. But hold on, man. Before we get started, if you've been anywhere on social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, there's a possibility that you've seen this picture. Or if you've been on social media like Facebook or Instagram, there's a possibility that you've engaged in conversation on this picture. Or if you've been on social media like Facebook or Instagram, there's a possibility that you've seen this picture and thought, I'm too old for this shit. Regardless of what you thought, we're going to talk about this picture and we're going to discuss the truth about hair texture. Stay tuned.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
All right, so what is this picture and why is it relevant to you? Well, let's be honest. Whatever your texture is, it really does not matter in the scheme of things, okay? You're going to brush your hair the exact same way. You're going to comb your hair, you're going to do-rag, you're going to do whatever you have to do in order to get wavy. So whatever the technical terms of your texture is, in the scheme of things, it does not matter a whole lot, all right? But let's be honest, okay? For a long time, this stuff has been taught incorrectly, and that's nobody's fault. I want to be very clear, that is nobody's fault. For a long time, as a matter of fact, just 10 years ago, the technical terms for these things did not exist. All we cared about was getting wavy, brushing our hair, none of the specific details about hair texture or porosity or any of those other type of things. None of that stuff really mattered, okay? But the truth of the matter is, if you're technically speaking, there are only 3 types of hair textures, all right? There's coarse, there's medium, and there's fine, all right? The correct way to tell your hair texture is to actually take a piece of your hair and to test it between your fingers, all right? Now, I'm going to illustrate that. And since I'm ragged up, I'm going to take a piece of my beard hair and show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so you see right now I have a piece of my beard hair, all right? So I'm sure you probably can't see that, and that's okay. But what you do is you take a piece of your hair out your head, and it needs to be clean as well, and you rub it between your fingers like this. That's all you do. You rub it between your fingers. It fell, and that's okay. You rub it between your fingers. Now, if you barely can feel your hair, you have medium texture. If your hair feels rough, then you have coarse hair. If you do not feel your hair at all, you have fine texture, all right? So if it feels rough, you have coarse. If you barely can feel it, you have medium. And if you can't feel it at all, you have fine texture. That is how you tell what texture you have. Texture has nothing to do with the size of your waves. That's curl size slash curl type, all right? Now, we've been calling stuff straight hair for a long time, and I don't expect that to change. We don't expect that to change, you know, but the truth of the matter is there's no such thing as a straight hair waver. There just isn't. Their texture is considered fine. So if you wanted to say fine hair waver, technically that would be the correct way to say. Well, this has been addressed before. As a matter of fact, this has been addressed over and over and over before. But unless you've been in tune with the communities, you wouldn't have known, you wouldn't have heard it, or you wouldn't know this to be fact, all right? So this stuff has been addressed countless times before, all right? I'm glad this picture has gotten a lot of people's attention. We're glad as a community that we're finally starting to set the record straight. Shout out to guys like Mark Davison, like J. Lou, like Country Kane, like RG3. Shout out to those that really And not to mention King Baldy. Cannot forget about King Baldy. I know he's not on YouTube like that, but shout out to him as well. Shout out to a lot of you. There's too many of you to name, but a lot of you have really taken the time to try to set the record straight on not just hair texture in general, but correcting some of the things that for decades we've been teaching wrong. All right, not even decades. All right, because although waves have been around for a very long time, the wave community has not really been meshed with the natural hair community until recently. So that's why we kind of developed our own lingo for a lot of things. But remember, our lingo has really been us teaching it incorrectly, okay? So anyway, if you found this video helpful, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and a thumbs up. This is your boy Lorenzo, aka Mr. Never Sleep. Peace.